He's having a really good time. What is up, peoples of YouTube? I'm the Motorcycle Mick, and today, it's been a while since I started some shit on YouTube, and after Saturday's drag racing video, if you haven't seen that, I'm gonna put that right here. I had a video come to mind that really kind of stuck with me. Before we jump into that, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button down below. I'm your unusual Harley guy, uploading videos every Tuesday and Thursday around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Well, what kind of stuff could I be starting today? Well, if you guys didn't watch the full video of that drag racing, then you missed a very integral part at the end, which I'm going to show again here. And what that is the two guys from Michigan Baggers Racing, father and son racing. But the big thing between this is the fact that Senior had a 128 Milwaukee 8, Junior had a 120 twin cam. You got me thinking about differences in the motors and which one's better, which one is good for daily use, and which one is good for like performance and power. And then the one that's kind of in between with just performance and power, just with basic power adders. My answers might piss you guys off, but that's okay. Tell me in the comments section down below. Angry, happy, sad, whatever. Why I'm wrong, why I'm right, why you agree with me. I don't know. What do you think that it should be? But we're going to start off with the everyday rider before we go to performance, because you can't just start off with being in performance, because that's not what the motor originally comes as. It's something you buy off the floor. This is where I want to be very specific about what I'm talking about. We have a beautiful September morning. We're going to start off with twin cam. Now, back in 1998, when I was still a little kid, Harley had a change of mind, change of plan, change of heart. All the prior years, they'd been making motors for their Harleys that were V-twins, right angle, you know, whatever Harley's specific angle is. Pan head, the shovel head, the knucklehead were all single cam motors. Harley decided we're going to change things up, and for that model year they released the 88 cubic inch twin cam. Now, just like now with the Milwaukee 8, there was a lot of people that were questionable of the motor because they had all these other ones that they said were more reliable. The Evos were more reliable than the twin cams. They trusted them more, and so thus began the evolution of the twin cam. In 2007, I believe it was, they released the 96 cubic inch motor, and they just made it bigger. It's kind of like today where you see like the 107 and the 114. Where are you turning? A few years later, they brought out the 103. And I'm not saying any of the twin cams were bad. They did offer an A motor and a B motor for that, which is just certain kinds, so like the Softails are for the touring bikes. They came with 2 valves per head. They had more power than the previous motors. They had the ability to be built, tuned, because before that there was carburation, and then when it went to fuel injection, that's another whole story, going from carbureted to fuel injected motors. But the 103 was a good motor. I mean, the 88s, the 96 and the 103 were all great motors. They were bulkily built. I don't want to say that right. They were very bulky motors, and that was good for them because when people wanted to build them, they already had a very strong motor to build on. Now, granted, a lot of people did go to like 120 swaps on them later on, which were good. I mean, it created a lot of power. People were putting the Hemi heads on them for general use. That was great. I mean, the Hemi heads add a lot of power. The way that the gas is compressed, combusted, new pistons, all that, they could build up the motors and create a lot of power and a lot of torque. I'm just gonna scoot you back a little bit. With a stage 1 kit, intake, exhaust, and a tune, they could do pretty well. And when I say tune, I'm talking about, you know, there's tuning a car, but also I'm talking about more modern times for us, where it's tuning the motorcycle using a tuner of some sort, whether it's an FP3, a Dynojet, Power Vision, or whatever tuner you're using. But I'm guessing somewhere around 2015, Harley started doing some further research on a motor they've been researching for a while. Going back to their roots, back to what Harley was known for, this motor has a V-twin sound. But they say that it doesn't because people like that twin cam sound. For me personally, I like the V-twin sound. That's where the problem arose. You had a second motor in research and development, working on it, getting models, prototypes, all that built. People were still happy the 103s, getting all these new things to be able to customize it, to be able to give it more power. As stuff progresses, there's always more stuff available. for more manufacturers to create power. And then in 2016, for the 2017 model year, Harley dropped a bombshell on all of its customers. No more twin cam. That would become a thing of the past. And they released this new motor that has a lot of power, a lot of torque, right from the factory. I mean, and that blew my mind. You could have a factory 107 destroying a 103, or 114 going against a 110. Harley kill off the dyno, which, I mean, you guys already know my opinion on that. I don't think that was the best decision, but they brought quite a few of them back to life as soft tails with the bigger motors and the power. But what would this new motor hold? What would this new Milwaukee 8 engine do for the motorcycles power-wise? And then came the day it was released, the 2017 touring bikes. They came with a 107, no other option at that point except for if you got the CVO, you got the motor that's in this bike, which is a 114. And Harley kind of started going back to its roots a little bit, which I really liked with this motor, because they offered the 114s and the Softails before they did the touring bikes regularly. So what I mean by that is, there was a time when you could get a 114 and a Softail special, depending on which one it was, versus the 107 and touring bikes. And this new motor produced a lot of power, a lot of torque, and a lot of good throttle response. But like every time Harley brings out a new motor, people are skeptical of it. Some with good intention, some with bad intention, trying to put down a new motor, saying it's not good. But going back to when the twin cam came out, all the guys before that were skeptical, and now look, the twin cam is the most popular motor. So who's to say in 10 years or 20 years that when we look back at, them releasing this, that we're not going to see this motor become a very popular motor, which already is. People love the Milwaukee 8. It's got a lot of good power. But looking at it from out-of-the-box standpoints, the Milwaukee 8 had way more power, way more pickup. But then we look at the perspective of an everyday rider. For ease of use, I'm going to offer between the 103 and the 107. But when we look at everyday use, ease of riding, the power of the motor, the twin cam was a good motor and a solid build. But for the everyday rider, it's got to go to the Milwaukee 8. It comes with way more power and with minimal stuff on there, like a proper stage 1. Stage 1 to stage 1, the 107 can produce extremely more power just based off a cam and a tune and an exhaust. And that's what I'm going to go with. For everyday rider, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee 8. Milwaukee 8 is way better. You got way more power, way more torque, and it's still a good feeling ride. Plus, with the 4 valves and the heads, it breathes better. It flows 300 CFM. So you already have that performance aspect there. Then once you give it a ability to breathe and then dial in the fuel, it runs awesome, and it's got a lot of friggin' power just for an out-of-the-box kind of bike perspective. Then we go back to that drag race and look at 2 bikes that ran that 128 Milwaukee 8 or that 120. And yes, the Milwaukee 8 can have a lot of power. That is something that's easily given. Like, they have the ability to have some ridiculous power. Senior's bike in this video is kind of showing what can really happen when you have a good built Milwaukee 8. As of right now, for building a Milwaukee 8, it's kind of expensive. Harley's being very protective of all their stuff, which, I mean, it's a new motor, so whatever. But price for price, the cost to actually customize that motorcycle, to put power, like ridiculous power to the motorcycle, and it basically is strictly because of cost, without being in depth at all, just saying that the Milwaukee 8 probably needs a little reinforcement, whereas the twin cam comes with a already stocky motor, so it doesn't really need to have that reinforcement done. You kind of can bolt and play. Granted, if you do the work to a Milwaukee 8, you will have a monstrous motor that is going to tear out the track, but might also tear up your wallet. The problem is that the Milwaukee 8 has a ridiculous amount of torque, so you gotta be able to put that torque to the ground without destroying everything in the process of getting there. But cost for cost right now, as much as I hate to say it, I would say I'd probably go with the twin cam for super like high performance builds, just for the fact that, yeah, the Milwaukee 8 does have that power, but for the cost of what it costs to get there versus what it is now, and in 5-10 years, the Milwaukee 8 might be a lot less expensive to build for power, but until that point, it's kind of hard to justify. You're already, if you're going for a power build, you're already buying a brand new motorcycle, and then you're going to put another, let's say 5 to 10 plus grand into the motorcycle to make it super powered. But I want to know what you guys think about this. I mean, honestly, for me, I do love the Milwaukee 8. That's why I have one. That's why I got one. You can see me right there. I'm riding my Milwaukee 8. This is my Heritage. If you are new to the channel, I do have a 2018 Heritage and a 2013 Sportster. So let me know down below what you guys think about. And don't be like, oh, the twin cam's garbage or the Milwaukee is garbage. I mean, give me a reason. What you guys think is the better motor. What you guys think in 10 years the better motor will be. I'm really intrigued to hear about this because I want to know, like, from the younger generation to the older generation. Even so, maybe some of the older generation might like something that's unexpected, but I want to know, because just like with the Milwaukee 8 and the twin cams of their respective release years, there's a lot of questions behind them, a lot of worries. But that's what you get when you get a new motor. It's not like it's been out for 20 years. Wow, dude. You really just did that shit? Fuck you. But peoples, I'm the fat kid that likes food, and I want to go get it to eat. I'm gonna end the video there. As always, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, tea, lunch, brunch, nightcap, crumpet, Burger King Whopper, midnight snack, and remember to always ride for freedom.
Hey, dog, this shit is old school. They say I'm not supposed to, but I make my own rules. Dog, this shit is old school. Yo, bitch, man, that's old news. She been on my whole crew. Yeah, that chick is ran through. Ha. This shit sound like old tool. Pull up and I drop the roof, and that bitch a old school. These niggas acting brand new. I just keep it old.